Warning, this video contains spoilers for Star Trek Discovery Season 1 and Star Trek Discovery Season 2. Star Trek Discovery Season 2, Episode 10, The Red Angel. I'm not sure I can accurately describe the level of disappointment and frustration I have about this episode. After weeks of build up to this moment, we get overblown drama, little resolution, a completely fabricated ticking clock, and a terrible cliffhanger. Let's jump into it. This episode opens up with a funeral for Ariam. It was nice to see that they did decide to bring her body back aboard and not let it casually float through space for all time. Next up, we are treated to the first of what is a series of terribly written conversations between Ash Tyler and Michael Burnham. She's mad at him here for being a part of Section 31 because they built the control AI, which isn't just an unfair argument, but it's annoyingly childlike. Okay, I know a ton of fans of Star Trek Discovery really like Tilly and find her to be cutesy, but I cannot stand her character.
Hi, sorry, Captain, Admiral, everyone. I should have knocked. Although it is kind of pointless. These doors pretty much open right on their own most of the time.
This isn't funny, and these jokes do not work well at all. Someone just died and you're gonna start making cracks up about the door?
The file also contains a bio-neural signature of the Red Angel. Michael, it's you.
We're not doing this. We're done now. We're done. Thank you. We're all back it up. Back it up. So we uncover here that Ariam had a file located within her system entitled Project Daedalus, which was all about the Red Angel. The file also contained a bio-neural signature scan that supposedly matched Michael Burnham, essentially implying that she is the Red Angel. We then cut to a scene with Dr. Culber, who verifies these scans as authentic and states, quote, "Humans have neural wildcards that couldn't be artificially generated, and that Michael was a 100% match for the Red Angel scans." It was at this moment that I assumed the Red Angel was in fact Michael's mother. It fit the profile of this season's attempts at tricking us, the Angel's desire to save Michael all the time, and that they were trying just too damn hard to sell me on it being Michael. While I did enjoy seeing everyone working together rather briefly here to stop the Red Angel, this is where this entire episode officially starts to fall apart for me. The final three good portions of this episode include the relationship between Georgiou and Michael, then the conversation between Hugh and Cornwell regarding his mental state, and finally the touching moment between Spock and Michael while she's at the gym. These three scenes stand out because they involve actual character moments and not overly dramatic sequences that aren't earned or paid off, and additionally, the actors and actresses are working overtime in each of these sequences in order to connect with the audience. Now, let's run down the list of stupid.
I'm cringing already.
This scene between Georgiou and Stamets was really dumb. I think the intent was to help Culber with his ongoing identity crisis and to see what's right in front of him, but it didn't really make sense and isn't paid off in this episode at all. Michael is really gonna have attitude with Nan for saving her life and possibly everyone else's. I understand that they come to terms with it at the end of this, but to even start off like that is just wow. Leland explains to Michael that her parents were Section 31 operatives who built the Red Angel temporal suit known as Project Daedalus. Leland says that he and his people stole a time crystal from the Klingons and used it to power the suit. However, the Klingons tracked the crystal to Michael's parents' home, which led to their deaths. Michael then puts all of that blame onto Leland as if it was entirely his fault and then decides to beat the shit out of him. Well, guess what, Michael? Your parents are to blame as well, but maybe we'll get to that in the next episode. Then Michael runs into Tyler for part 2 of our terrible conversations and flat out guilts Tyler for a second time about being a part of Section 31 and almost implies that she blames him for the death of her parents as well. I hate Ash Tyler's character, but damn, can my man catch a break? Spock surmises that the Red Angel appears whenever Michael Burnham is in trouble or is about to die, because without her past self, there can be no future one. So he comes up with this plan to lure the Red Angel into a place by allowing Michael to slowly suffocate on a planet, and then use Stamets' capturing apparatus to hold the Red Angel into place. And for some reason, this is the only plan that will work, and it must be done right this very second. Why? They say that there's a concern for more control AI bots traveling back in time, but that's literally only happened once, and it wasn't even clear as to why it happened to begin with. I cannot understand the urgency within this episode at all, nor can I reconcile the argument Michael gives to Pike when he says no to the mission initially, which is that all sentient life hangs in the balance. Like, what? We have no idea when that might occur. In fact, that might not even occur for hundreds or even 1,000 years. And yet, there's a sudden ticking clock to resolve this entire situation immediately for some very strange reason. Just before Michael goes down to the planet to die, we are treated with part 3 of the Ashburnham Conversation Chronicles, and they just cry and make out. She cries a bunch and apologizes for yelling at him, and then he kinda tells her that he loves her without actually saying it. This is the CW or something here, I don't know. Finally, the big not reveal is that the Red Angel is Michael's mother and not Michael herself. How the great Hugh managed to miss that is beyond me.
I guess you didn't see that, did you?
Other things to note, I cannot believe Pike agreed to this plan at all. And it would have been better if he actually stood up for himself for once. I don't like the way they're treating his character at this point in the show. Leland gets jabbed in the eye about what we assume is the last remnants of the future control AI. I assume some kind of nanobots are going to take over his body because it's not clear if he's dead or not right here at the end. There was a moment at the end of this episode where Hugh tried to talk to Stamets, but instead of having a good resolution here, Stamets tells him that that wasn't the right time to talk and there may never be a right time to talk. I thought they were trying to reconcile. What is going on? Also, I assume they just fired Commander Reno because she's not in this episode at all. Again. My final thoughts are this. I cannot believe how disappointing this episode was. They filled the entire thing with 85% fluff, 10% character moments, 5% plot. My biggest issues arise from the sensationalized drama events and the unnecessary ticking clock. Michael is scared to complete this plan about capturing the Red Angel, and she's going to have to literally die to bring her in. So why not come up with another plan? You didn't even try. Considering this one is based on a pretty weak theory too. Yeah, it did show up when Michael was a kid, and yeah, it did show up when she was on the crash ship at the beginning of this season, but where was she during the Klingon War? Or when Michael was floating through space to reach a door, or literally any of the other dangerous situations she's been in over the last 2 seasons. Next week's episode is probably going to be really great. A showdown between Michael and her mother, and a full explanation as to what the hell is going on with this plot. That's the episode that I think we all wanted to see. This one, however, to me came off as high school level drama, with terrible writing and really poor ideas. And I'm kind of glad that this episode is at the end of the season because this put such a bad taste in my mouth. If it was at the beginning of the season, I probably wouldn't have continued watching Discovery.
Time, Miss Savage.
It's like a predator. It's stalking you.
I rather believe that time is a companion who goes with us on the journey, reminds us to cherish every moment, because he'll never come again.